There's an interesting mindset that creeps in if you spend any amount of time actively attempting to learn about digital marketing and internet marketing strategies, that you need to do everything on a massive scale in order for it to have any chances of success. And that's, of course, because most of the people that you're going to look at sell courses or books or whatever, and so they're trying to get as many people as possible in front of their stuff and put through their magical system of wonder and mystery so that they get more sales. It's not always that way, but it's often that way. So what does that mean for us as lawyers? Because the numbers just don't necessarily align. My name's Chris Hargraves. This is Digital Marketing Mastery for Lawyers, and you can find more episodes of this and other fascinating stuff at digitalmarketingforlawyers.com. But for today, we're talking about scaling, and in particular, I want to try and convince you that scaling everything is probably the wrong attitude. See, what happens is you start wanting to learn about this stuff, and so you might start consuming information from people, and you hear them talking about things like an email list with 75,000 names on it, or 1 million social media followers, or whatever. And the fundamental distinction I think we need to be careful about making is the cost and benefit associated with each individual client that you in your particular field are going to have. Now, of course, if you work in a field like conveyancing or maybe low fixed cost sort of DUI approach or something like that, you're going to have a different methodology. But for today, let's run with someone who has a higher payout per client. That is, you might have average fees of $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a file, and you might have 5 to 10 files per client over the lifespan of that client. So each client to you might be worth $200,000 to $500,000 over the duration of your relationship. Now, when you start thinking about that, you immediately need to come back to where I always come back to, which is known, liked, and trusted with the decision maker or the decision makers associated with that particular client. And that might mean that rather than trying to scale and get in front of as many eyeballs as possible and automate everything and push huge amounts of money into ads, your job is in fact to get really granular and really dig into the minutiae of exactly what you need to do in relation to that client or potential client in order for them to send you their work, whether that's the first work, whether that's more of their work they have available, or whether that is continuing to send you their work in what is a fairly competitive marketplace. So trying to scale normally entails this idea that you need to broadcast as widely as possible. What I want to encourage you to do, rather than think that way, unless you have to because of your industry, your practice area, think about the one-on-one personal relationships. In a recent episode, I talked about some strategies that did not involve blogging. And if you've listened to that, you will realize that those strategies are all about that one-on-one relationship building. By and large, it is reaching out to an individual, personalizing everything, getting very granular and very itemized in what you're doing, getting to know an individual person far better than you could possibly ever get to know people through a Facebook campaign that gets people to sign up to your email list, and then you just sort of send them emails indefinitely and hope that at some point they will bring you some work. Now, there is place for that strategy, and there is place for trying to get people on your email, and there is place for Facebook advertising, and there is place for continually touching base with people using those sorts of systems. But at a certain point, we're trying to be too preposterous. So consider, for your practice area, how granular, how personal, how tiny can you go and really hone in on those one-on-one relationships? Because you might find that for some areas at least, the payout is going to be significantly better. So that might be messaging, that might be writing them a handwritten note, which is quaint and stands out to people. I know it's not digital marketing and this is supposed to be digital, but you can actually get a pen and a piece of paper and write someone a note, and you will find that that will have an impact these days. So you can send them something, you can touch base with them, you can check in to see how they're going, you can comment on their posts, You can do many, many, many things at that one-on-one level that isn't scalable. And that's what's going to differentiate you from other people. If you're doing the things that other people can't or won't, that will set you apart from the rest of the pack. That's all I had for today. Hit the various good buttons, and I'll see you next time.